What's up, guys? So all the time I think about how I like to do things all by myself in private practice because I'm the only one who understands me and nobody else. But it turns out that collaborating with other people is way more helpful than trying to do everything by yourself. And I'm so excited because I just so happen to have an expert on collaboration with me today. I'm gonna introduce you in a second because I'm so excited because I have Dr. Free. Oh no!
Therese.
Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. And if I seem excited, I am super excited because today I have a super magical special guest that I'm totally fangirling over, Dr. Therese Moscardo of Exploring Therapy. Welcome, Therese.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
This is like completely my dream come true, 100%. This is happening.
It's my dream come true too.
So, Therese, tell me a little bit about who you are.
Sure. So I am a clinical psychologist, obviously, and I have a business called Exploring Therapy, which is a community to help people build a life they don't need a vacation from. So I obviously have an Instagram account where I like to have a community that actually interacts with each other. And I teach online courses.
And Therese is totally crushing it on all the things she just said, but she's super modest. So I'm so excited that she's here. When I first met Therese, it was through Instagram, and I was fangirling over her before we ever met face to face, just through Instagram. And then when she said she was coming up to visit in my area and she wanted to meet up, I had a giant party inside, and I was like, yes, I want to meet up, please. And then now we're friends.
Speaking of collaboration, right?
Yes, right on point today, which brings us into our topic. Today we're actually going to talk about collaboration because I think it's such a key component of building your business no matter what kind of business you have, whether it be private practice or something else. So Therese is such an expert in collaboration. So we're going to pick her brain a little bit today about how to use collaboration to market your business, private practice or otherwise, and see where she leads us. So Therese, I think it would be really good to start off to say a little bit about why collaboration can be really helpful, because I know for me, I can just feel like, why would I collaborate? I'll just do it by myself. Other people are just going to step on my toes.
I mean, people can for sure be messy sometimes, but I think that also working in private practice especially can get really isolating and just lonely. And so for me, I know I've had those moments where I have felt just all by myself. And the other thing is you just cannot do all the things well. I know that my business and who I am personally and professionally has really grown, and I'm in a place of thriving because of the collaborations, the partnerships, the relationships that I've built in my practice, and it's been a game changer.
Well said. And I'll say, I wouldn't have believed it except that Therese and I have collaborated and I've gotten to experience other collaborations, and it's so true. Therese, I think people would be helped by like concrete examples. So maybe talk about like one of your favorite collaborations so far. She has tons. So just pick one and kind of walk us through how that got started and why it's your favorite collaboration.
Sure, yeah. So one of my favorite collaborations was forming a mastermind. And the way I did it was I reached out to different women on Instagram who were also psychologists, and I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling like I didn't know really how to be professional on Instagram because in school we're always taught to not disclose and be really private. So I reached out to some women who are also psychologists, and I basically asked them if they'd want to team up. And we started forming what you might call on Instagram a pod, but basically a group that works together. And we would just talk about how to do Instagram. And that was really where it started. But then it kind of grew. It turned into a monthly call, a mastermind call, where we had very intentional topics about our business, about social media, about all the things that interested us as professional psychologists. And we've turned into friends. I mean, it's been over a year now, and all of us have seen growth in our business in all sorts of different ways. We've had amazing opportunities. We've learned from each other, and we even had a retreat together this past weekend, which was so much fun, and Marie came.
So I'm curious, could you say a little bit about some of the benefits that you've personally seen from being able to collaborate with others?
It has been so awesome, like in ways I couldn't even imagine. One of my favorite collaborations was getting to work with Dr. Henry Cloud, who is the co-author of Boundaries with Dr. John Townsend. They found me on Instagram, and getting
Big time.
And they're incredible. Dr. Cloud is a hero of mine. And so I've been able to collaborate with his team, create some content for them, work on some events together. And it's just been a dream come true.
If someone was interested in collaborating wherever they may be at in their business, like how do they get started? Maybe walk us through a little bit how you've done it along the way, if you can kind of break it down so that we can follow the steps you
Sure. Let me give you a little step by step.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing might be really obvious, but it's identify some goals. What do you want to do with your business and what do you want to do with collaboration? So I think you have to be somewhat clear about what's the general idea of what you want to get out of your business. It's also really important to remember the people that you're trying to connect with. You know, what kind of clients do you want to work with? Do you want to work with single moms? Do you want to work with teenagers? Because that will all influence the types of collaborations that you do, right? Yeah. So if you want to work with moms, you're going to look for people that are reaching moms and work with folks, you know, specifically who are in that niche. So second step is that you want to stay open. So cast a wide net. Don't expect everybody to be interested in collaboration. Don't take it personally, but just, you know, really don't have any fear about reaching out. Expect that you might hear from some folks, and then if you do, it's a pleasant surprise and a bonus. And if you don't, it's okay. Just move on to the next thing.
Yes, and I think that's such an important tip because I know for me, not hearing back from so many people is so discouraging, and it might just make me want to stop. But I like what you're saying. Cast a wide net and just kind of assume that a lot of those people, if not most of them, may not respond.
All right. The third tip I think is actually really important, which is give before you expect to receive. Don't go out there going, gosh, this is good for me. Really consider who you're wanting to collaborate with and think about how this collaboration may benefit them. But definitely expect to give something before you get something back.
I love this tip so much because my followers know, if you've watched my other videos about anything related to marketing, it's all about solving a problem.
Yes.
And that's not just solving a problem for your audience, but if you're talking about collaborating with someone, if I'm collaborating with Therese, I'm wanting to help her solve a problem as well, not just get something from it. Okay, so that all sounds really great, but I'm still thinking, okay, I found this person I want to collaborate with. They're super cool. I have no idea how to talk to them. Like, how do you even go about bringing this up with them or pitching it to them?
You know, you'd be surprised. It's actually a lot easier than you think. So I usually like to start off by saying, hi, I'm Therese from Exploring Therapy. And I like to share a little bit with them about what I admire about them. So I might say, Dr. Marie, I love what you're doing with private practice skills. I think it's really changing how people approach their practice. And I am reaching out to you to talk about a possible partnership. And then I talk a little bit about who I am in detail. So, you know, here's what I do and here's my reach and here's what I'm passionate about. And I like to give them a chance to co-collaborate with me. So I might have a few specific ideas, like, would you be interested in doing an Instagram live or writing a blog post for my website or whatever? But I also leave it open to what they think might be good. Make sure that you frame it in that initial pitch in terms of how it might be beneficial to them.
Well, that really makes sense. It seems like it fits with this same theme of the two of you can mutually benefit each other, and it is a genuine collaboration and not just I'm trying to get something from
Exactly.
you.
Another step is be willing to experiment. So it's good to have specific things in mind of what you want to do, but you may not always know where they're going, and that's okay. Sometimes just being willing to be open-minded and see where things goes can lead to some really fun outcomes and things that you wouldn't normally expect. Sometimes the benefit isn't immediate, and that's okay.
That's such a good tip.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm all about trial and error. That's kind of how I hear that. Of like, this may or may not work. I'm just going to give it a little try and see what happens.
Yeah. So the last thing, and again, this might seem really obvious, but I think it's all about communication, communicating effectively and well. So when you make a pitch, make sure to follow up with them within, you know, a day or two. Don't leave it hanging for forever, and have in mind what your next steps are, because I think sometimes people are so open or like they're so nervous about how to approach that they'll say like, let me know what you think, or tell me when your schedule's available. So a couple little tips, I might say something like, are you available to speak this week about it? You know, something very specific so they can respond right away. Or I might say, I'd love to speak with you. Here are 3 times that I'm available in the next week. Do any of these work for you?
This all sounds really great. So what are some ideas for how people can go ahead and collaborate if they want to get started with that?
There are so many collaboration ideas. Some of my favorites, I love doing Instagram Lives. And one thing that's really cool about that is when you do an Instagram Live, announces it to not just your followers, but to the person that you're collaborating with, to all their followers. Blog posts are really great. So you can ask someone to do a guest post on your blog. You can pitch someone with ideas to post on their blog if it aligns with what they're talking about. Doing a YouTube video together like this or any sort of video is really, really great as well, because then people get to see you. And again, it's that whole idea of like sharing audiences. So I really love that. Writing an article for a magazine that you love could be really, really cool. What am I forgetting? Oh, podcasts. If you have a podcast, obviously inviting people who you think would benefit your audience to hear from them, but also just pitching different podcasts that are out there that you love or think are relevant to your audience and giving them specific ideas of what you like to talk about.
Well, I love all of these tips from Therese, and I'm so grateful. And I'll say I've personally seen all of the things she's described manifest so well. I've tried things myself that have worked and not worked, and definitely the things that I've done that have worked are in line with the tips that she's offered. So I'm so glad she's giving you these tips, knowing so many of the people watching this video are going to want to come and find you. And so I wonder if you can say a little bit about where people can find you.
So people can find me at exploring.therapy on Instagram or my website, exploringtherapy.com.
Go check her out. She's the best. I personally benefit so much from knowing Therese and collaborating with her like we're doing right now. So I hope you found this video helpful as you're learning how to market your business through collaboration. Let me know in the comments below if you have any hot tips that we missed or if there's any awesome collaborations that you've been able to experience so far in your business. And until next time, from two therapists to another, I wish you well. We wish you well.
Bye.
Today's video is brought to you by TherapyNotes.com. Therapy Notes helps with scheduling, notes, and billing so that you can spend more time with your clients and less time on back office paperwork. Click the link in the description of this video to get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment.
By the way, do you think this will show?
I don't even know what you're pointing
The
at.
flakiness.
I can't even see it.
Okay.
Looks great.
She's an expert. She's got this. I also have to stop looking at myself. Look at the camera.
We're crushing it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I mean, you'll want to not say fangirling 20 times over a video.
Already said it more than once.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.